Hello once again and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today we're going to be playing a bit more of Expeditions Conquistador in our third little episode here. We're about to get another dose of what combat has to offer, but before that let's go ahead and talk to people and make sure. And Capitan, to what do I owe the honor? God, I got all mealy mouth there. You have me at a disadvantage, senor. Oh, I beg your pardon. My name is Fernando Fernandez Luna, and I am a merchant liaison to the royal court. We all saw your ship come into the harbor. It is comforting to have a fresh contingent of noble Spanish soldiers to protect us from the savages. And we'll ask him if Capitan Noriega has it under control. He does what he can, but, well, he is not as proactive as he used to be. Do you have a lot of problems with the savages? Well, they've been mostly compliant. A few still resist our dominion, but I'm sure you understand no one feels safe with such primitives roaming the island. The presence of your troops makes us all more secure. Well, I'm gonna be on my way before any further racist things are said. Let's see what's going on here. So we have to find Umberto. And so he's not immediately visible, but we walk around for like 15 minutes, and he finally finds us as we're strolling through the market. Capitan del Splatter, I apologize for my delay. I deduced that you received my message. I did indeed, but you seem to be headed somewhere. I need some barricades for Noriega. He's having a training battle this afternoon, and I must arrange the battlefield to teach the men flanking and similar maneuvers. I thought that you might be interested in an introduction to the noble art of tinkering. Somebody here sells barricades? He chuckles and pats us on the back. Not quite, my dear boy. Me and the Chicos construct them ourselves, but we need materials for the construction. Over in the back here are a few good shops that sell all manner of useless rubbish. Brilliant stuff to tie together in piles and put in the way of heavily armed men and women. And show me how to construct barricades. And he shows us how to tie random knickknacks together, bits and bobs, doodads and gewgaws and so forth, and it makes barricades. And so where do we start? And he's going to show us in a battle how to do this. So his men are going to put up barricades than I do, and then we fight. And so we get to bring 6 soldiers this time, so we get a bit better of a contingent. I'm going to go with Juan Ortega, Ana Vidal, I'm going to take Rita, and then I'm going to take maybe 2 archers, so we're up to 5, we get 1 more. Honestly, I haven't seen the real benefit of bringing a doctor along. In fact, there is a detriment, because if the doctor gets taken out in combat, then he can't heal himself. And so you're actually without a doctor for a while. So I'm going to go melee heavy on this one. And to battle! And we'll see what happens with these nasty dew-bottom jackanapes. These men of ill repute that we will smite about the head and shoulders. And, you know, obligatory obnoxious loading screen. And so, preparation phase. So now we've got this little bar down here. We can place barricades, and it's a free action. And so I'm going to put a barricade here. And so that's actually going to pipeline them through these little holes, which I will surround and then beat them apart. Now, before the battle, we can also move people around. So I'm going to take this soldier, put him right there. This soldier, oh, it won't let me put him right there, so I guess I'll leave him right there. We'll put all of our ranged guys up against the barricade, and then we'll have this final soldier just kind of stand guard in case they try and rush this side, and we'll see how it goes. Onwards to battle! And so it's our turn first. Honestly, I'm just going to take a few pot shots and let them come at me, bro. And so there's the first round fired. The shot heard round the market stalls, I guess. And that's all I'm really going to do for this turn. We can actually swap the weapons on these characters by hitting the R key. And so I'm going to do that as well, so that even my melee guys can fire a shot or two. The reason that you can swap weapons in combat like this... Oh, that's right, scouts can't do that. Never mind. Scouts honor, they can't shoot with guns. And these are kind of pot shots. The chance of them actually hitting with their ranged attack, the soldiers, is pretty much, like, minimal. Like, it's like a 5% chance. It's really, really low. It's just kind of there so you can pass the turn without wasting your time completely. And so we'll pass the turn. Took a pot shot from what looks like a doctor or a scholar, and we've been shot in the face. Twice, almost. Which would be horrible. That's a terrible way to start out a fight, getting shot twice. Getting shot once is bad enough, but twice, really? So, it looks like they're just going to take pot shots at as much as we did. And can I reach them? No, I cannot. And so they position themselves just out of my range. Now, my scout can reach them, but it's a little risky. Instead, what I think I'll do is have my scout come down here to fight this guy. And so he's going to take a swing at him, and down he goes. My scout has an ability right here called Feint, that means that I can move through an enemy and attack them from behind. It's a pretty useful little ability. It helps you avoid attacks of opportunity and things of that nature. I'll explain attacks of opportunity once they come up. I don't really know if it's something we're going to run into. Thus far, I've been pretty pleased with the AI. Usually in strategy games like this, the AI tends to be pretty daft and kind of stupid. But in this game, they're actually pretty smart. What you'll notice is range characters will pop out fire and then go back into cover. They do a lot of really unique little things that typically you don't see in games like this, so we can't take that shot because it's through our own units. We'll take a shot at... Can't shoot him. We can take a partial shot at him. He's got partial cover though, so fat chance that that's going to work out. We'll take a shot from there too. Yeah. That's about what I figured. So we'll make sure you want to have their melee weapon out because it allows them to get attacks of opportunity. Thus far, I haven't seen any grenades or anything that'll actually like blow things up. I think this is pretty early on in history for grenades, although maybe at this period they had them. It'd be on the edge of the gunpowder age though. And so that guy just healed him, so that is a doctor right there. We'll have to deal with that shortly. We're going to take an attack right there. Attack right there, and that's that stun attack I was telling you about. It's super overpowered and super obnoxious. It actually stuns you for a really long period of time. Here we're going to finish this unit off with our scout, and then we're going to use the remainder of his movement to close the gap, but we're going to keep him in cover behind all these barricades and things. Over here, we're going to try and saw this guy to death, maybe. Now, attacks of opportunity. So if I was to step here, and then step over to here, all of the hexes surrounding this guy, you can step in them once without getting an attack of opportunity, but since he's connected to both of these, if I was to step here, then here, he would get a freebie shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step around and go like so, very carefully. And I left this open on purpose so that I could turn like so and blast a fool up close. Just get straight hood on him, and down he goes. And so we can take a shot at this guy now, which is what I think I'll do. And it was a successful shot, which is good, because the accuracy on that was only 38%, so it was a pretty low chance that that was actually going to work. I'm glad that it worked out in our favor. The other moves that we can do during this turn, I could technically close the gap with this guy and make it so that he couldn't fire a ranged attack. It's tempting, but then this guy will fire at me, and this guy will probably come out and try and fight me, so I'm going to stay put for now. And that guy, that shot right there, the doctor has a 5% chance of hitting you, and he just hit me 2 times in a row with a 5% chance. That's like a 1 in 400. That's like a 1 in 400 of happening. That's really, really unlikely. And you see what I mean right there, how he ran in and out of cover? And so we'll come over here, and we're actually going to close the gap with him. If he tries to move out of my melee range now, in order to avoid obnoxious kiting, what they've done is they've put in a system where if you try to move out of somebody's melee range and you have a ranged weapon, they actually get a freebie hit on you, just like D&D. So just assume that all the rules from D&D apply here if you've ever played Dungeons & Dragons, and that's a pretty good way to think about it. Now over here, I think I'm going to move to there and blast him up close. There we go, right in the face. We're also going to give him another one. Send them a ball! And down he goes. In this game, what I've noticed is a lot of the time you're going to be outnumbered, so be prepared for that. If you're thinking about purchasing the game, it's very difficult. This combat is not representative of what's going to happen when we leave the city, believe you me. It gets straight nasty. And so usually it's like they have 3 or 4 more units than you, they usually have barricades and things and you don't. It's nasty. The game makes you think about, and really it makes you realize there are repercussions to combat. Ooh, he used a tactical move. So tactical move is what's available to every character. If we click on them, down here you'll see a number of things we can do. There's interrupt attack action, so this is basically lie in wait. So let's say if I was over here and there was a melee guy coming at me, if I put him over here and I told him to lie in wait, if the melee guy comes within 6 squares of him, or 6 hexes, he blasts him automatically. The other thing you can do is a tactical move, which means you give up your attack, but it allows you to move out of the enemy's melee attack range without incurring an attack of opportunity, so it's a pretty useful little skill to master. I'm going to have him fire first because this unit's going to step in right here and finish him. And death. It seems like melee pretty much automatically hits from what I've seen. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of modifiers for melee not working properly. Now, what's happened right here is because this ranged unit is in melee combat, we can't fire with a gun at point blank range or we get an attack of opportunity or he gets a counter attack. So what we'll do is we'll switch to our shank and we'll shiv a bitch. There we go. And so this guy is going to turn around and hopefully we can finish this guy off. Oh no, he has a gun. And so see right there, that's what I was talking about. He gets a counter blow if we shoot with a gun from point blank range. I didn't realize he had his gun out, and so that was my bad. We just lost a unit based on my own ignorance, which is nothing new. Anybody that's played a strategy game with me realizes probably going to happen at some point. We'll close the gap right here with our scout. This is really what scouts are great at, is they shut down ranged units pretty effectively. Like, They more or less make it so ranged units feel very, very pressured. I think the game allows you a little too much movement. Like, you can cross the entire board in a single turn. I think perhaps the movement should be toned down a tad. The game feels almost too mobile, and what I mean is that by the time you get to your second turn, you're pretty much in melee range in this game. The chances of you not being in melee by the end of your... Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that attack of opportunity, so I'm going to get shanked. And so that was not what I wanted. And has he already attacked? He already attacked. And so can I shoot from there? No. Step to there and we'll take a shot. Kablow! I love the sound effects for the muskets and things in this game. They sound amazing. I am really addicted to firing guns in this game, believe you me. I also like the way the guys on the ground are incapacitated, like roll around twitching and things, although I don't know what he's doing to the floor. He's kind of just having fun by himself there. I don't know. I'm not going to ask and he's not going to tell. But let's finish her off with a halberd stab. There it is, critical strike, and the battle ends. And at the end, you get your Butcher's Bill, which is the short form version of what's happened. Because it's a planned out scripted event, we don't get any injuries, but if this had been a real battle, the people that I had lost would get injuries from this. They get broken bones and things like that that would have to be set and would have to be dealt with before they could participate in battles and participate in camping again. And so this game takes it one step further than Mount & Blade and Might and Magic. When you lose units here, you actually lose them for large periods of time, and because they can't do the camp menu, you find yourself in a situation where they can't hunt, they can't turn, you know, herbs into anything useful. It just basically is a mess. And so, when all of Noriega's men are down, your people help them up and everyone shakes hands. Umberto and Captain Noriega are talking out of earshot. We'll join them. And we saunter over, ha ha ha, sauntering in our fold-over boots like a merry pirate man. Where's my tankard? And Umberto includes us in the conversation. Well fought, Del Splatter. I don't think we've had such an interesting battle here in quite a while. The men tend to pull their punches a little when they're fighting their own. It's true. Throw another contingent in as opponents, and suddenly their honor is at stake, and they fight like soldiers. Our troops should spar more often, Capitan. And I'll tell him we have urgent business, but we will arrange a tournament in the future. He strolls off to direct the efforts, and he's totally happy about it, so we're going to fight him later on, once again. And so what else is going on right here? I still see something flagged up. Oh, we can make barricades. So we can buy materials to make barricades. I'm not really going to, well, we'll do it, just to say we did. So we'll haggle, and we haggled him down to 300 treasure instead of 500, so we'll get 2 barricades. That's enough for now. Then we'll go back to the market and make sure that we have the provisions we need for the journey ahead. Since we have a bit more money right now, I'm semi-tempted to buy some more equipment because we have a lot of medicine and we have a lot of rations, and so I think we'll be okay. There's no limit to how much you can carry, and if you look at the bottom, it says low demand and so forth. The prices change depending on how much he has in stock. And so as these get rarer, they get more expensive. You guys are familiar with supply and demand. So we got 5 more equipment with which to upgrade our troops. Now, we can probably upgrade somebody after that battle because we got some more XP. Yeah, it looks like we can. I don't know what it's going to cost to upgrade to the 3rd tier, but I am going to take Martinez and we'll upgrade her. So let's upgrade her to a woman at arms, and that's going to increase her bonuses to attack and give her a little bit more defense. I'm going to give her the same thing as before, the blocking melee attacks. I think that's probably going to be pretty useful, and so there we are. We also have enough to upgrade somebody else, and I'll probably spend that one on a hunter, or maybe our scout, actually. Let's do it with our scout. There we go. Oh, I have to assign her points. And so let's give her abilities at... Yikes. Let's keep buffing her up as a guard. Between the two of them, they should be able to hold down the camp. At least that's what I would like, ideally. For her, we're going to upgrade her to a man-at-arms, or a woman-at-arms. She gains sneak, moves half speed but does not trigger traps, interrupts, or attacks of opportunity. That's a really good ability, so we'll keep an eye on that in the future. I'm going to give her probably the same ability, I think. Well, I'm going to lower... Let's make her dodge ranged attacks a little bit better because she's got less HP. If she gets into melee, she'll probably be fine. She deals a lot of damage in melee range. We'll increase her patrolling and see if she can patrol a little better. This may have been why the game was so difficult, is because I couldn't figure out how to level up. This might make a substantial difference in the way this plays out. Now, we're all wrapped up here, so let's check our quest logs. I don't know what... Oh, yes. I've got to track down some rebels, but let's do some free roaming first, shall we? Let's see if we can get ourselves into trouble, because I've already followed the storyline, so I'm interested in exploring a tad, and then we'll get right to it. Let's go get those herbs. Ooh, and there's a cairn, so we'll grab that too. And that's going to tie into our chart the outskirts. There's some wild game over here, so we're going to go hunt that, I think, tomorrow. But for now, we'll rest. Do we have any meat? No. We have 4 meat, which is going to offset our costs of resting a little bit. But let's see how we're doing. So our guarding is looking a bit better. Let's take Isabella Irunis off guarding and see what happens. See, it looks like 9%, so that's not actually so bad. But I'm still going to have her guard, I think. Patrol difficulty's low, so a lower percentage isn't going to hurt us there. Medium, medium. Alright. And so that's all there. We have another person who's not doing anything, though, so we'll have her patrol. Possibly? Maybe guard? We'll have her... Yeah, we'll have her patrol, and then we'll take... Who else is patrolling? Her? We'll have her guard, because I don't want our valuables getting stolen. Nobody needs to take my knickknacks. That would make me very upset. We should probably set somebody to make some barricades, too, but they're making medicine right now, so we'll wait a turn. So there we are. And we lost 73 valuables, even with all those people on guard, but we did find some medicine on an old corpse. And so that works, and then we converted 12 herbs into medicine, so that's fine. All in all, not a terrible evening. I say that the random robbery events happen a little too frequently for my tastes. I mean, you wouldn't expect to get robbed like back-to-back on night to night. There we go, and we've killed the pig. It gave us 11 meat. And so I don't know how much we got last night, but hopefully we've got enough to actually preserve a little bit of extra meat for the future journey. And so we're going to follow this beach over here to the west, and we'll see what happens there. We have inventions, really? That's interesting. How does that work? Ooh, this is a system that I've never seen pop up before. It's unreachable at the moment, but we'll deal with that later. Let's go ahead and... He's not doing anything, so we'll tell him to make a barricade. And so maybe we'll get a little bit of that done. Now, we have enough meat to completely fulfill our needs for the day, so that didn't cost us anything, which is good. Our tasks, low, high, low. So chances are we're not going to get anything on our patrol, but we can try. And it looks like we returned in good spirits. We got 1 barricade, nothing happened. We got some medicine, and we gained 10 meat, so that's going to offset our costs as well. Is there anything down here? Just to be thorough. Doesn't look like it. So let's head for the treasure! Because treasure is what we came here for. That's why we came to Hispaniola, is to get rich. And so, or die trying, by 50 cents. Anyways, we're ready to camp for another evening. And we're going to leave everything as is. Let's go ahead, and he's going to build another barricade. She's out of things to preserve, so I think I'll have her... Oh, we're out of things for constructing barricades too. We can also make torches. At night you have a baseline chance to miss based on the darkness, and you can throw torches, and that's why you have those on hand. Just so I cover all my bases, because I like to be somewhat procedural when I go over games like this, because they are complicated and there's a lot of things to learn, and that's why I watch Let's Plays of games like this, is so I can learn things about them that I didn't know beforehand. Let's camp for the evening. And we got an activity. As things are quite busy around the camp tonight, you put Gabriela Ibarra in charge of the hunting party. When the party returns at last, it is with quite a ruckus. 2 servants are carrying a bloody Ibarra on a makeshift stretcher. Weak. Super weak. Shouting in panicked voices about an attack by hideous swamp creatures. We'll bring everybody to order, and it says that she's covered with tooth marks, and their terrifying descriptions paint a picture of a giant reptile called El Lagarto, the lizard. Despite the terrifying stories, Ibarra doesn't seem to be beyond repair. It'll take her a few days to heal from her injuries. Weak. Super weak. And what was Ibarra? Let me make sure. Ibarra is a hunter. Okay, that's not too big of a deal. If it was my scout, it would be a lot larger of a deal. But now that she's out of commission, you see it says she has severe lacerations. She can't do anything for us. She's completely worthless until she gets healed. So we are going to have to take it a little easy here for the next day or two. And we got some more metal there. Let's go ahead and see if we can hunt this game. If it moves, it's gonna... Hey, we got him. So we got 18 meat. So we may be able to spend the night just preserving meat. And so we're out of moves. And so what we'll need to do now is we'll take Gabriela Ibarra and we will assign her to Alvarado. And so Alvarado is going to be healing her for the remainder of the evening, which means our hunting efficiency has gone down by a few %, but that's alright. I wish you could tag team doctors on her to make her heal faster. That would be kind of nice. We'll assign everybody to eat meat. Oh, sorry, there we go. I clicked the wrong thing. There's 8 meat left over, so I'm actually considering, let's take one of them and have them preserve it, and then we'll have one of these scholars who's going out to hunt. Let's see here. What's going on? Oh, never mind. Yeah, she's already doing that. And then we'll have one of the hunters preserve as well. And so that's going to turn our meat into rations so that it doesn't go bad. And so we only gained 1 meat, so it wasn't a very good hunting night, but we gained 8 rations. We lost 13 rations to wild animals getting into our camp. That's a bit of an offset. And then nothing else basically good happened. It cost us medicine to get Ibarra healed, so things are less than optimal right now. But hopefully we'll persevere. I don't see anything out this way. I was actually hoping that we'd get into a little bit of a rowdy how out this way. We'll continue for another day or two, and then we'll head back to camp, and we'll head out to the east to see what the rebels are doing. All these people that we're preserving, we'll set them out to hunt now. Hunting difficulty is low at the moment, so that's fine. She's still healing moderate lacerations. That actually is not good. She should be on light lacerations by now. Every day it should go up by a little bit, but, you know, we takes what we gets. So let's go ahead and camp for the eve. And our defense is held up. Patrols found nothing. We hunted 10 meat, and her condition has improved at the cost of 6 medicine. Which is good. Anytime you have a wounded party member, it's a little bit of a letdown. We got a bit more rope, and I don't know if I want to head up that way or if I want to head back and see if we can get ourselves some more provisions. Let's live on the wild side and go out here and see if we can get ourselves into trouble. And I think that was probably a good plan because there's both herbs and a pig out here, so let's see how much meat we have. I think today was going to be basically on the house because we found 10 meat. So yeah, it's only going to cost us 1 ration to camp out tonight. That's cool. We don't have the metal we need to make another group of barricades, which is unfortunate. And Ibarra has recovered from her wounds, and so nothing else eventful happened. We got a little bit of meat, so it's going to cost us 2 rations for today, but we got some more herbs, and then we're going to go up here and hunt these pigs. And once we get these pigs turned out... Ooh, and we got a magic spring over here. So this magic spring restores all your turns for the day, which unfortunately we can't get to it, but we're going to have all of our hunters preserve for now because we do have enough meat for the night. Let's go ahead and assign that first. There we go. And that leaves us with 13 meat left over for the evening, so we really want to preserve that. 13 is going to give us a pretty substantial bonus to what we have on hand, especially if we manage to hunt anything up tonight. So we gained 2 meat. That's not much. We turned 13 meat into 13 rations, and nothing else eventful happened. Good. And so we're back up from 40 to 52 rations. You definitely don't want to run out of food. It is all bad, believe you me. People start getting very grumpy once their tummies get rumbly. I can attest to that firsthand. I get grumpy when I get hungry, so I can only imagine walking through the hills and getting attacked by natives and things of that nature if you're on an empty stomach. So I think that's about all we're going to be able to cover for now. So let's head back to whence, well, we'll head back from whence we came to make it sound much more noble than what we're actually doing. We will assign these guys to herbalism for now, and then he will go on a hunt too. And so we got 1 equipment. That's very cool. We turned 6 herbs into medicine. We got 9 meat. And so we're in good shape for right now, although I think I forgot to assign the meat there, so that was my bad. We kind of wasted some rations there. Unfortunate. It's difficult to get ahead in this game is one thing that you'll notice. It's easy to get behind. It's very difficult to get ahead. Because we have 7 meat on hand, we'll assign that. It's only going to cost us 2 rations for the night to camp. That's fine. We gained 4 meat. That's not so good. Yikes. Not so good, but we'll live with it. It's not something I'm happy about, but it's something I can live with. And then we'll head back to our home base before we head out any further. And she's not hunting right now, so we'll give her the hunt command. There we go. We gained 11 meat today. That's really good, so that's going to help us out in the long run. Our defense is held up, nothing bad happened. I'm getting a little, you know, you guys understand what's happening now. By this point, you understand the rotation of the game, so I'm just going to auto-camp for the most part. And they ate the meat, they let the meat spoil. That's one thing that I really hate, is it doesn't save your setting from before. Like, if I assign them to eat all the meat, they don't do that on their own. I have to do it every single day, and so that's a little foible that I find to be kind of annoying. Actually, it's really annoying. It causes you to lose resources that you shouldn't otherwise lose. And so let's cut this way. Our camp is there. It is, our city. I was getting a little worried there for a minute, but we'll be alright. We'll assign them this time. There we go. And so auto-allocate new meat. Maybe that does it. Maybe that's the switch that I've been missing. It's all my fault. It could be. I like to complain about things, but a lot of the time it tends to be my fault. You just got to admit it sometimes and be like, well, my fault. I'm a jackass. Oh, there's a little portcullis right there. Unfortunately, we didn't make it before nightfall. Is that what it does? It does. Okay, I'm an idiot. I apologize, developers. I am a moron. And so I'm going to build another barricade while we're out and about. And we built another barricade, and we got 9 more meat. There's no defenses being breached, and so now we'll head to the east, and we'll see what happens here. There's a couple flags. Let's make sure the market doesn't have anything. Maybe they got some new resources, and so they have a normal supply of just about everything. Let's trade medicine for supplies. Just a little bit, though, not a lot. And then what we'll do is we'll take treasure. Yikes. We have a lot of... Well, we have some extra equipment, but I'm pretty happy with where our resources are. I want some cabbages. This dude's carrying cabbages. Well, he looks kind of paranoid. Look at his face. He definitely looks as though he's being stalked. But let's head out to the east through this portcullis and see what trouble we can get it to out this way. Let me check and see how many cairns we found so far. Found 3 out of 4, so maybe we can find the 4th and see what happens if we find it. I've actually never found the 4th. Hopefully it's around somewhere. We'll kind of wander a bit. We'll be nomads for now. I'm pretty sure they're all along the roads, the ones for the cairn stones for the quest. I've actually never found this 4th one. I know where 3 of the 4 are, so if we run into it, it'll be something new for me. Let's take a look and see what the environment's like. Okay, so it's going to be difficult to hunt here, unfortunately, but it's going to be easy to patrol. So we'll see what happens. The rations, we've got meat for the evening, that's fine. And they return in good spirits because they found food. The guards let people steal our metal again, but we did get some wood to replace it, so they found a broken down cart. I guess he takes the goods with the bads, I guess. And it says the evening's meal is just about ready, and you and your troops are huddled around the campfire in quiet anticipation. Ana Vidal dips a spoon in the pot and tastes the stew, contorting her face and sticking out her tongue. Yak! Dismayingly bland as usual. We march through lush jungles every day, surrounded by exotic plants and animals. You'd think we could do better than this. Refuse. And Juan Ortega looks across the assembled expedition members. They're tired after a long day's travel, damp from the humid air, and clearly not in the mood to talk about how bad the food is. He gets up and goes to his tent and brings back a sausage. The collective gasp escapes the troops. Ana jumps to her feet. What's this chorizo? My brothers and sisters, genuine Spanish chorizo. How have you come into possession of this, maestro? Everyone cheers as... it's his secret weapon from the village of Guijuelo. Go on, put it in the stew. And everyone cheers as he puts the chorizo in the stew. And if you close your eyes, you can almost forget it's made out of military rations. And we tell him such a sausage is invaluable in a place like this. And everybody has actually gone back to the camp. They're all happy. They're playing dice. And they're super, super stoked. And he says, military life is hard and troublesome. A little chorizo from home goes a long way to lift a company's spirits. Is that why you brought it all the way here from Spain? Like I said, it's my secret weapon. I don't presume to lecture you, Capitan, but one must never underestimate the importance of morale. Entire wars have been won or lost due to the morale of troops. It may not be as tangible or as easy to judge as equipment, but if you forget to keep your troops happy, one day you'll find yourself standing alone in the middle of the jungle. We'll tell him he's wise. He says he's not more wise or less wise than others. We'll ask him if the rumors about him are true. He laughs. They're all true, especially the one where he killed a full-grown wolf with his teeth because his hands were occupied holding 2 other wolves at bay. Oh, and the one where he's a prince in exile. That one is entirely accurate. And at least tell us why they call you Maestro, his nickname, because he's the master of the chorizo. He smiles inscrutably. You get the distinct sense he's concealing something, but the conversation is over. We walk away and everybody goes to bed. Which, that's how most of my interactions end. I'm going to bed. I have no desire to talk to you anymore. Let's go to bed. And so let's check out the jungle over here. We're going to stay within eyeshot of the road because getting too far out into the boonies can get you into a bit of trouble. But we'll try and stay somewhat close to these little remnants of civilization like roads. When a dirt road is your remnant of civilization, you've got to be aware that you're out in the sticks. So let's make sure everybody's assigned to something. Because we're in the jungle, hunting's easier. Don't hunt on the road, by the way. Hunting on the road's a terrible idea. The spot that you end your camp is really important, so bear that in mind as you go along if you're playing along with me. We'll camp, and they didn't catch much, so tomorrow we're going to be leaning on our rations in order to get things done, but we do have some new equipment. So let's go ahead and assign that to people, actually, because equipment is the little buff that sometimes makes all the difference in your survival. Let's take Ortega, and honestly, I feel as though giving one guy a lot of the equipment may be the best way to proceed. And so let's give him... I'm a defense guy. I'm a turtler. So let's give him a load of defense. A 42% damage reduction. That's pretty intense. Let's not go that far. 40% seems like a nice even round number. We'll give the rest to Martinez, who will take a buff to her glaive damage maybe. Actually, let's give Ana Vidal a buff to her cutlass damage, which she's now using a longsword, so... She's not even using a cutlass anymore. She has upgraded. Let me upgrade you. So let's follow this road down here in our final, what looks to be our final turn. It's the 22nd day of our journey into Hispaniola. Oh, and given that we didn't catch anything last night, we've had a stroke of good fortune. We caught ourselves a capybara or a boar or something. And we can feed ourselves tonight because of it. I see a chest off over here, so I'm going to cut through these palm trees and see if we can get ourselves some extra provisions. And let's camp for the evening. Now, we're going to have to tailor make our camping setup or our camping configuration for this one. We got 15 food left over, and so we're probably not going to hunt tonight. We're actually going to take the hunters and let's have them preserve things, because preservation is key. We've got to restock what we were going to lean on in the first place, and so 12 out of 15 has been used, 14 out of 15, all right, and then we'll let the other one hang over. Camp for the night, and 1 meat goes bad, but nothing else bad happens. They return with 11 meat, so we're good to go. After hunting in the vicinity of the camp, Lopez returns to camp to report some sort of trap hanging from a tree nearby. Your hunter isn't sure what exactly was in the trap, but he was certain he saw some sort of glimmer. Let's go check it. Let's live on the edge. Approaching the tree, we see the faint glimmer reflecting in the moonlight, coming from a net hanging among the branches. The trap is hanging too high to reach, and the trees nearby are all covered with latticed vines, making it impossible to find whatever rope keeps it suspended. We'll climb up and cut it down. And it was easy enough. We reached the net with a determined swipe. We cut it down and it drops to the ground with a thump and a rattle. We unpack the net and we find the armor of a soldier, which is very well kept. And so there's bone fragments, so it's a dead guy, basically. But we got 5 more equipment, which means our combat capabilities have been increased, which is always a bonus. So let's go ahead and slap those onto somebody right now. We have a soldier right here who has been equipped with nothing. And so what we'll do is we will straight up equip him. Well, does Martinez use a glaive? She does. Okay. And so Vidal is equipped. Okay, so 3 soldiers and a scout. Alright, that's going to work out. I like the way that's configured. If we had a little bit more, I'd start trading them because they are incredibly valuable out here, but alas, we don't have that sort of benefit. So over here, it looks like there's another road. Let's stick to our guns, or at least stick to our hooves and go over this way, but it looks like it's about time to wrap up this episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle for yet another episode, numero 3 of our Expeditions Conquistador LP. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll choose to join me in the future. I know it's uneventful, but I enjoy these storytime type games. It's a nice break from the ridiculous fast-paced Call of Duty gameplay that you see nowadays. Sometimes it's nice to take a break and just kind of read a storyline. Hopefully we'll find ourselves some more combat in the future. That being said, take care out there, everybody, and I'll see you all next time.